Good morning, this is Rabbi Shlomo, Furst here at Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi. Our first year in the morning here, we're located in Yerushalyim, HaKodesh, not too far from the central bus station, and walk from there, drive, bus if you're running. And if somebody before us, please join us. We're learning Pirkei Avos up to the in the mornings. We have some breakfast and coffee here. Today we happen to have pancakes, very deliciously prepared. Cake. Okay, let's just review the first mimer of the third Mishnah. Let's just start with number one. Just review the mimer of Antigonus Ish.
From Soko, received from Shimon Tzadik. Who Ayamer used to say, do not be like servants who serve a master in order to receive a present. Right? Be like servants who don't receive a prize. And you should be, and the fear of heaven should be up.
Very good. Jump to number 3. That's going to be Rashi's explanation of the Gemara in Avodah Zarah, which is related to this.
Rashi Masechet Avodah Zarah Pirkei Aleph, Rashi Avodah Zarah in the first parak.
You can skip up until the brackets. That's just the technical.
Velo bischar mitzvotav, and not because of the reward of mitzvahs. Shoved et yitzro me'ahavat shemo, that serves Hashem from the love of his first love. Me'ahavat mitzvah, for the love of mitzvah, mitzvah piv, and the rest of his mouth. Velo l'shem kibul schar, not because to receive reward. He doesn't take a reward because he's serving Hashem out of love, and he's doing the mitzvahs with his mouth, and he
mitzvahs pihu, meaning Avos mitzvahs pihu, meaning the love of the commandments of Hashem's, not literally, but it's really figurative. The mitzvahs, the commandments of Hashem's mouth. Meaning he loves Hashem, Gufa, meaning the whole concept of HaKodesh Baruch Hu. He's the creator, he keeps the world running, he loves us, he creates us, keeps us going. He loves Hashem for not even because of all these things he does, but that's basically how we relate to Hashem. We relate to Hashem, we love Hashem because if we think deeply enough into it, we realize how much Hashem is doing for us, right, constantly. And we come to a situation, a feeling of love for HaKodesh Baruch Hu because of that. And also we have love for his commandments, because just as this is how the Maharal Prague explains the Gemara about Avram Avinu. That Avram Avinu was on a very high level of Yerushalyim, right? Fear of HaKodesh Baruch Hu. His love for HaKodesh Baruch Hu was based on and preceded by his Yerushalyim, his fear from Hashem. How the question the Maharal is dealing with is, how does Yerushalayim bring you to Ava? Meaning, how could, by fearing somebody, or just take bust it down people, if you fear somebody, how can that bring you to love him? How can that cause you to love him? Right? So let's think of it and try to understand it in the following way as the Maharal Prague explains. When you have a fear from somebody, you don't want to disappoint them, right? Whether because you fear them, because if you disappoint them, you'll lose your job, you'll get a punishment, right? Or simply because you'll displease them, right? If you don't want to do something that will displease your father, because if he's displeased, that ruins the relationship with you, right? Okay. So you always try and maintain a high level of love and affection between the person you love, and hopefully they reciprocate back. Now, if you disappoint them in some way, that's going to some way ruin the relationship in some way. So, what's your fear? Your fear is that you don't want to ruin the relationship. Your goal is to maintain a relationship in the highest possible way, in the highest standards of love and affection as possible. So if that's your goal, right, and that was the goal of Avram, so that was based on his fear, right, that he didn't want to do anything contradicting the will of HaKodesh Baruch Hu.
is fear the wrong way, the wrong word? Should we say fear a lion? Or is it more awe? Or, you know, like
So,
in awe, you have it all.
so you have
fear, you've got
awe,
points, you've got to get punished with.
Yeah, so there's a fear because there are different types of fear. You can have a fear
But if you have
because
awe, if you have awe,
so
you
awe,
don't
and
punish
you have awe and you have respect.
That one
Right.
comes under.
In certain ways. Right? I mean, like, the Maral Miprag asked the question, if we say that Avram Avinu's love for Hashem was based on fear of punishment, and even a higher level of fear, a fear of what the, let's say, can happen if he disappoints a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So then that you see even amongst people, and with, let's say, a king. The times when we had kings, you wouldn't want to do something which would upset the king, because once the king gets upset, well, you know, just go back a week from now, Haman upset the king, and you saw what happened to Haman, right? So the king has power, and if you upset the king, he may use his power against you, right? And so that's nothing unique. So Avram Avinu, you can't explain his fear for Hashem, his awe for Hashem, and his love for Hashem in those ways, because obviously Avram Avinu reached the highest levels of these kind of things, right? So that's something which anybody who has power can demand and has, right? So Kadosh Baruch Hu, and especially Rav Aminu's relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu was much deeper than that, right? So his fear was he didn't want to ruin the relationship. He had a special relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. He wanted to maintain that relationship. He wanted to preserve that love and cherishment that a Kadosh Baruch Hu had for him, and a Kadosh Baruch Hu has that love for a person, so a person tries to reciprocate, to do the same thing back, right? So that was Avram Avinu's main goal, to maintain a relationship of Ava, of love, with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. So with that, we can understand a little bit what we're being taught here. When it says in Tikkun, if you look back at the very first line there, number 1, in Tikkun Isai, V'kibu Mishimon Atzadik. He received the tradition of learning Torah from Shimon Atzadik. Or Yemer, he would always continue to say constantly, and we'll get back to that point that you mentioned 2 days ago in your question. We'll get back to that point, maybe not today. We should Omer, you should not be like servants who serve their master in order to really receive some type of a reward. Rather, you should be like servants that serve their master not on the condition to receive the pras. You should have the fear of Hashem, fear of Shemayim, heaven, upon you. What is these last 4 words? Ayamura Shemayim Aleichem. These 4 words, you should have the fear of heaven upon you. What does that have to do with heaven? Okay? That's what we learn from Avram Avinu. His highest goal, his highest attempt to try and please HaKodesh Baruch Hu was based on his fear of Shemayim. What kind of fear? Not the fear of punishment, not the fear of doing something which would disappoint the Kadosh Baruch Hu, but fear of ruining the relationship. Right? His relationship was that close to Kadosh Baruch Hu that he wanted to preserve that relationship. That was his goal, to preserve the relationship. And that relationship was so strong that HaKodesh Baruch Hu decided that not only will Avram Avinu be privileged to have such a relationship, but even his children, his offspring, for all generations will have that same relationship, or at least in potential they'll be able to have that same potential relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. We can reach that, any one of us, because we're the children of Avram Avinu. That's we start our Shemona Esrei. We start off speaking to HaKodesh Baruch Hu. The whole doorway of our prayers is open because of Avram Avinu and his son Yitzchak and his grandson Yaakov Avinu. That opens the doorway to all our prayers, right? So each one of us has potentially the ability and the means to come very close to Kadosh Baruch Hu. And that's what it means over here. And we'll see, reinforce this point. You can take a look in number 6. This is the base of it here. That's the Meiri. A Rishon is a Rishon who wrote on the Gemara in Avodah Zarah, which is related to this, what we're learning now. Go ahead. I'm looking
לפני יום, נתחיל בדף ב' עמוד א', ראוי לאדם להיות רודף אחר מצוות שלא מחמת שכר, that it's good
It's proper.
for a person to run after mitzvahs not because of reward, אלא משיטת השלמה, because of what's
Mishtukas hashlemus rotzon boira.
because that's the will of the Gashem.
Right, he desires to fulfill hashlemus. He wants to fulfill the will of the Creator. Meaning, why do we run after mitzvahs? Not that we're going to get a reward. That's not our motivation. Our motivation is because we want to fulfill the rotzon of the Creator.
Schar by Me'elav, and the reward comes from itself.
Right, that's automatically the scar, the payment for what you do in terms of fulfillment of mitzvahs. That's going to come automatically. That you don't even have to ask for that. That's going to come automatically.
Vehu she'amru b'mitzvotav chafetz me'od. This is what it says, and it's the mitzvahs are a good. Chafetz is
The desires.
desires. Ve'lo b'schar mitzvah, and not because of the reward of the mitzvahs.
Right. The desire that we say that's a pasuk that the mitzvahs chafetz me'od. The desire for the mitzvahs is great, and not for the payment of the mitzvahs.
So I don't understand.
Yeah.
We're learning here to do it from the heart. Okay. Now his students decided to give up the oral Torah, right? Because they're not getting rewards. So I don't understand, what is the difference to them, oral or written Torah? If you don't want to believe, you're not going to believe. Like, what is such a great thing that they did? Like, I mean, it's that terrible thing what they did, but what, you know, if it's because of reward they were giving it, they weren't doing it anyway because of the heart.
Good. Okay. So the whole point of biasus and Sodic and biasus, that's going to be, we'll have to devote a whole another share to it. We're Bez Hashem going to get to it. Right? No, we need to understand that. Bez Hashem, we will, and we'll probably be working on that part of it, part of next week. Okay. And look at number 7, just to review this again. That's just based on the Gemara in Kedushin Lamed Tes. You can just read that part of it right after the brackets Lamed Tes.
The schar mitzvah b'hai amaleka, that the reward of mitzvah is only in the next world. V'lechen rak lemachar lekabosam. Only tomorrow you're going to receive a reward. The next world.
Right. The payment for the mitzvah is only going to be in the next world. That's when you're going to cash in. It's like, you can think of like a pension. A guy gets a pension. Until he retires, he can't get the pension. Right? He's working. When is he going to get the pension? Only when he gets that retirement. Okay. Now take a look at number 8. This is also going Rashi. I'm reading this down because Rashi brought this pasuk down as the point about the payment for the mitzvahs. This is a piskata. That's like a medrash chazal.
That I command you today to do.
Right, that's a pasuk in Devar. Right. We actually saw that a few days ago.
But you cannot do it in the next world. This world is compared to Erev Shabbat. The next world is compared to Shabbat. One who troubles himself Erev Shabbat will eat on Shabbat. One who does not trouble himself Erev Shabbat, how will he eat?
Yeah, from where he's going to eat. Right. So Chazal say like this, that this world is similar to Erev Shabbos, right? And the next world is like Shabbos. So just as we know a person who's going to be putting forth efforts to prepare for Shabbos, so he's going to have what to eat on Shabbos. And a person who's not going to be putting forth efforts on Erev Shabbos, on Friday, he's where is he going to get anything to eat on Shabbos? He'll be left without anything. Right? So there's a sefer, sort of a sefer, a good 300-400-year-old sefer. He asked the question based on this chazal. Olam haba during the Shabbos. Olam hazeh is like Erev Shabbos. He asked the question: why do Chazal use this expression Erev Shabbos? Why didn't Chazal say Olam hazeh is like the Sheish Shemei B'Maaseh, the 6 days of the week, and Olam haba is like Shabbos? Why did they specifically mention Erev Shabbos instead of all the days of the week? Right? You could have said this world is like all the days of the week, the mundane days of the week, and Olam Haba is like Shabbos. No, they picked specifically Erev Shabbos. Olam Hazeh is like Erev Shabbos. That's his question. So he answers in the following way. Chazal trying to tell us something. See, when you learn the words of Chazal, and to that extent Rishonim and Achronim as well, they're usually multi-layered, multi-dimensional. I mean, they're multifaceted understandings and meanings contained within the words, especially of Chazal. Right? So the other thing that Chazal are teaching, one of the other things that Chazal are teaching with this expression Erev Shabbos is as follows. If you look at the activities that most people are, or at least should be doing on Erev Shabbos, most of their activities should be spent on preparations for Shabbos. That's the way it should be. And many people, that's the way it is. They devote a large part of their time, whether it's a majority of the time, I'm not sure, each person differently depending, right? There's some people that have the table set from Yom Chavisha, from Thursday night. Some have the table set from noontime on Erev Shabbos, right? And they're busy cooking Thursday nights and getting up early. The Kapachayim brings down that the women used to get up before dawn to draw water to start kneading the challah on Erev Shabbos. Now you can go to Meal Mart and you get this and that, whatever, so it's not so, but so it might be now also people are working amongst the goyim, so they don't understand so much that you have to have a day off to get ready for Shabbos. What's wrong with having a day off on Sunday? So no, Sunday we could care less about, but no, so a lot of them have to work. But in the times when we had our the ability to live independently, so most of the activities of Erev Shabbos would be directed specifically towards preparations for Shabbos. And that's what Chazal is saying. Chazal is saying, your main activity in Olam Hazeh, right, is just like on Erev Shabbos. Just like your main activity in Erev Shabbos should be preparing for Shabbos, your main activity in Olam Hazeh should be preparing for Olam Haba. If it told you that the Olam Hazeh is like the 6 days of the week, right? You would say, well, most people don't do too much on Sunday, or Monday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Tuesday, all the other days of the week. You don't spend too much time doing anything for Shabbos specifically. So you wouldn't have this extra lesson. So the extra lesson that Chazal is teaching us is that when you're alive in this world, your main goal, your main purpose, your main activity should be preparing for the next world. That's what they're trying to teach us. So that's why it specifically mentions Erev Shabbos. Good. Okay, we'll do another one or two, and then we'll get ready for the next one. Yes.
Of course, it's also good to keep the other day for Shabbat as well.
Yeah.
The guy used to go and get the
Shama would
go to the fruit, the
pick
vegetable
something
shop,
nice,
yeah,
right?
and then he'd come back and he'd season it better the next day.
Yes. Yeah, he was always thinking about Shabbos. Always thinking about Shabbos. And it's a mitzvah at the end of the davening with Shir Shor Yom. We say Yom Yom today for Yom Hamishi with Shabbos. That could in fact be a fulfillment of the mitzvah d'oraisa. You're supposed to remember the Shabbos each and every day. So that's one way of fulfilling that mitzvah d'oraisa. And also if you're going to be learning, the Mr. Bruce says, if you're going to be learning Hilchos Shabbos during the week, that's a way of fulfilling that mitzvah as well. You don't only get a mitzvah of Limit Torah, you get a mitzvah of Shabbos L'Kadosh. Okay. Let's turn the page. I just want to reinforce a point that we made yesterday. There's a difference. The Meforshim, we'll see the Rambam to begin with, beginning number 12.
I'll get the same on both sides.
Oh, look at that. There we go. Number 12. Okay. So the commentaries explain and they point out that there's a difference between the word pras and the word schar. Okay? Go ahead, Rambam, number 12, the Rambam.
Parasi kre hagomer hagamul asher yigmor adam mi she'eno chayav lo bedin. The reward will be complete.
It's called a gemul, that payment,
Oh, the
which is paid to a person. The price is considered, it's called something which is paid to a person, right? Misha enu chayev lo bedin. That he's giving it to somebody, something that he has no obligation to give.
Who is he? Hashem?
In this particular case, yeah, in this particular case,
Okay.
yeah. But as I said yesterday, if you look at the word pras, it's very similar to the English word prize.
right. Elayas is al derech hachesed v'tov, except should be done through chesed and through good.
Meaning, why is he getting why is he getting something which he has no reason to collect legally? Because it's giving, it's a chesed in a tub, it's a chesed, it's a kindness, and it's something which is a good thing. He's doing something good to him.
Kimishi Yomar Lado, like one who says to a servant, or the Naka, or his little kid, or the Ishto, his wife, Asekach, do this, that time, the dinar or shnaim, and I will give you a dinar or two.
Right. If a person has a little, 8-year-old son, he says, "Make me a cup of tea." And if you do, I'll give you $1 or two.
The
He
Zewa
doesn't have to do that at all. Same for his wife. His wife's, he says, "Can you sew my button on my jacket?" And if you do, I'll give you a couple of dollars. He doesn't have to do that.
The Zewa have done price v'schar. This is the difference between a prize and
And
a
like
payment.
payment, yeah. Like in this case, we'll say like a prize and a payment. Very good.
Ki aschar chayavim bo b'din, because a payment you're obligated according to law. Ve'amar zeh achasid, and this chas said, she'ata lo ta'avdu et Hashem al t'nai sheyetiv lachem b'malchem chesed, that you should not worship Hashem.
Shalot Tavdo, that you should not serve HaKodesh Baruch Hu. Don't serve Hashem.
On the condition that he's going to do good and chesed to you.
Right.
To be good to you. V'tikva ligmol v'tavdu ba'avuro. You should hope.
Yeah, and hope that he'll give to you ta'avdu ba'avuru and ta'avdu.
Work for his sake.
Right.
Wait a second. What is the difference between doing it for a reward and doing it in the hope of reward?
Well, if you're doing it for a reward, right, then you've already gone beyond the thought process, and you're actually taking it into the world of actions of it, right? If you're just doing it with the hope, right? I mean, that's like your intention, right?
What's the nafkamina between doing it with the hope and doing it with
Because once you're actually doing it, meaning the Rambam is taking it another step. Sha'atem lo ta'avu es Hashem al tanai sh'yitev lechem v'gemul lechem chesed v'tikvo l'gemul v'tavdu bavur, that you shouldn't serve Hashem on the condition that He's going to do good for you and will bestow upon you mercy, and hope for this reward, and to serve Hashem because of it. You shouldn't be serving God because of this and with this intention.
So you shouldn't be intending or hoping.
Yeah, right. You shouldn't be intending or hoping.
I understand.
Ella, what should you do? Middle of the last full line.
She'atem ta'avdu v'tikvu elad avdu ka'avadim she'ena mekavim l'chesed. You should work like servants who don't have any hope for expectation of chesed,
Of compassion, mercy.
V'lo la'tov, and not for good. Ratzeh bezeh, you should want this she'yu ovdim ava, that you should be servants who work out of love.
Right. You should be serving HaKodesh Baruch Hu because of love. Because if you love for HaKodesh Baruch Hu, your love for mitzvahs, that's your motivation for serving HaKodesh Baruch Hu. Not that you're going to get something, rewards, or a payment, certainly not, and a prize, also certainly not. Right? Your main consideration when you're serving HaKodesh Baruch Hu is to do it simply for the fact because you love Hashem.
And you go on to it when you're a child.
Yeah.
You know, when they get sweets for
Sure.
or they lick the Vayikra, they lick the
Yeah,
words
that's
of
right.
or put honey on it, you know what I mean?
Yes, Okay, good. We'll continue with this next week. Start the next week.
Mr. Mendel, so